Okay, so we've had a motion to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to accept the November 6th minutes. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Alright, so Joey, you're up on the agenda.
Okay.
Caught right back up.
So I guess is the proposals from Du Bois and King. I haven't looked at any of it yet.
Is Greta gonna be here to talk?
Not that.
Not
No,
this.
Bethany's that
Okay,
person.
Bethany.
Greta is about grant.
And I talked to Bethany. Did you talk to Bethany?
She just told me that she had this and that she was gonna be dropping it off. And
Okay.
she talked about the price wasn't
Yep.
as bad as she thought it was gonna be.
Right, and I guess the difference between, it is a little more expensive than Fairfield's,
Fairfields,
but
yeah.
only by like $9,000.
Yeah, I think theirs was 27,000
Something,
for
which was like
cross.
34 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have been a little less than that.
And
But
she's-
20 something thousand.
And she said that price was, so the cross price would have been, the beginning of, would have been years ago.
Right.
Yeah, couple.
So
Rates
a
have probably changed.
$9,000 difference, she says, might just be the cost of in changing in those years' times. So she didn't find it as a significant
Across, it's not
difference.
very far travel for them either.
Right.
And like she said too, maybe if you decided to request other proposals, maybe somebody like Cross has learnt some mistakes they made.
Oh, it might be
Maybe their
higher or
price is gonna be
lower.
higher now, cause
Oh,
it's, you know,
higher, yeah.
they, guess we didn't bid high enough for that one in Fairfield, so maybe now we need the, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Her sense, you know, of course she wasn't gonna steer us one way or the other, but her sense was that a $9,000 difference isn't that significant.
Well, the grant will pay for what, 75%.
Right.
I don't know, looks okay to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just giving us an idea. That's where there on the third page, it just gives you an idea where the shed would be. Look okay to you?
Yeah, just like you guys, it's the first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Joe gave it to me the other day, but I haven't had a chance to look at it.
So it must be to move it in like that. They're gonna have some big concrete walls here, must be, on the lower side.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole shed itself, I think will be like, at least 12-foot high walls
Yeah.
around three sides, the back and both sides. In the front, obviously, there'd be big door, big opening. And with the salt bay off to the side.
Like this one? No.
I don't know if
On
they
page
have one.
10? Is it like that one, like you said, off to the side? No?
Yeah. Similar. It'd be,
If you go to page number 8,
I should have brought the,
I hope
you
that's,
see the little plan right there?
yeah.
Could be something like that.
Sorta, I think, like what Fairfield's gonna do is kinda what I was picturing. This is the back and the two walls,
Okay.
and then they've got doorways here, and then this salt bay is just off to the side right here.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
But, you know, maybe they'll have some different suggestions or whatever too with the room that they've got and how we ought to do it. And maybe there's other ones in there similar to that. In the other file I got back in 2006 when we first applied the first time, I think Ruggiano had kind of a makeshift drawing of sort of looked like that right there. Yep.
Of the one on page 10?
Well, no, this one of Fairfield's here, kind of
Oh.
very similar to that.
Yeah. Let's see what they can do.
So they're looking at $37,000.
Do I have the original
You get another,
with the contracts in the back? Do you have contracts in the back?
no.
Oh, then this must be yours.
Oh, no, I have that on this.
Oh, you
This
do? Okay. Okay.
But this is the one that has the prices on it.
So what do they kind of want us to do? Approve it right now?
Yeah, we basically decide whether we want to bid another one,
No, let's.
or if we're good with this
Stick with
one.
this.
I think, yeah, that's your. There's others on that list. You could say, well, these guys look kind of ridiculous. We're going to pick another one off that list, or you could just go out to request for proposals from local Ruggiano
Yep.
and Cross
Right.
that aren't on the list, but then taking more time too. So.
Right.
What's your sense?
Like I said, it's not a lot of difference in what Fairfield's going to spend, and that was an older couple, 3 years ago. So, and possibly they've learned that maybe they should bid higher.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though you went local, doesn't mean you're going to get it any cheaper.
Right. And if we went with Cross, don't they have to get on that certified list? For, no, because they should be. Why weren't they not an option?
I don't know why they wouldn't have been unless
Yeah, they would have had.
they didn't, you know.
Well, if it's anything like
Sign
getting
up to
on
be.
Sam's list, I think you have to do certain
Criteria.
criteria to get onto that list,
Yeah.
and they maybe just hadn't finished it yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Or maybe they didn't see the
Okay.
increase in work, so they wasn't worth it to them, you know, to go
Right.
through that process to get on that list.
True.
They might be pretty busy too to be able to
Right.
put their name out like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. I'm fine with going with these guys. If that's what you're thinking. I'm also fine if you want to wait. I think for 9,000.
I didn't know for sure if Bethany was gonna be here or not. It didn't sound like she was, but she definitely isn't.
Might as well.
I'd say her hunch is probably pretty reliable.
Yeah, and like I said, I talked to her last night and her hunch was, yeah, I'd just go with them.
Okay.
I'd say that's pretty reliable.
Okay.
So we probably should entertain a motion to accept.
Du Bois and King's cost proposal.
Our services.
Yep.
Are you moving?
Yep.
I'll second.
For the Enosburgh TAP TA17 salt shed.
So a motion been made and seconded to accept Du Bois and King's consultant services for the salt shed, town highway. Any more discussion? Have none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Do you have to sign that? This one.
Are you asking Dave?
I'm asking Larry.
Yeah, I think you have to
Yeah,
sign the
basically.
one in the back.
Yeah, that says there is no conflict of interest.
If you wanna sign this one, you guys can all keep your copies.
Okay.
And then you can give that to.
Did Bethany drop them off here?
These.
Yeah, did she say anything?
Oh, I wasn't here.
Oh.
I think she just
They
left them outside because it
follow
was
us.
before we got
I'm just
here.
trying to remember when I talked to her, she give any specifics as to what the next step was.
Do you
She
want-
didn't to you last night, Polly, as
What's that?
far as if we decided to go with these, is what to do or to sign it or
She didn't.
no?
Well, we can just.
This is after reviewing, there's no potential, I think it's just really a conflict of interest one, it's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just give them this and just say, okay, we're
Right.
going ahead, so you wanna.
Just
Must
check
be
with,
they'll
check
send-
with Bethany before we
Yeah.
send it to them.
Okay,
I'm sure they'll send a contract.
right, this is probably just a proposal and you're saying,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks good, and then the next step is a formal contract.
Right.
Of course, until the money starts flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what's the difference for this one here? Is this have,
One had a sign in the back and it wasn't any different other than that.
okay,
Here's the one with Larry's signature. I don't. Yeah, that one has it too. They all have it.
Oh, I thought you grabbed. Oh, you gave it to Joy. Okay.
yeah, you want it?
No, no,
I got one just like it here, or what?
no. We've
But
all
that-
got one.
That one's signed, yeah.
We've each got a copy, so that's just a copy for you to keep, and that one's for
Okay.
them.
Hey, should we make a reference to, the Enosburgh Town and trustees meeting? That there was a meeting?
Where?
It'll be in. It's in their
It's
minutes.
in their minutes. I
It's
don't
in their
think-
minutes. I don't think it has to be in ours. Is it? Do we need to
There was no
say
motion or
anything?
anything like that.
No, but just to let the viewing public know that,
That was the last meting. It was on the agenda where we talked about the way we're going.
right, but that we had attended and the information is online.
We saw. We conquered. No.
You guys haven't copied them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exchange of ideas was on the table.
Is that what that was? Yeah.
Yes.
We were that exactly.
Meeting of the minds.
Exchanged ideas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so he's got some more stuff going on here.
Yeah, I got two financial reports that Larry, I got made out in his name to be signed. They're financial reports for the box culvert project that we just finished there on Tyler Branch here by Phil Rubtoys. There's two different contracts. One was for the main grant for the construction part, and one was this one for administration. So total cost of the project was $94,814.03, and we're going to get 75% of that, $71,110.52 for the main share of it, and then they had a $1,935 allotment for administration, and we put in above and beyond that, so we'll get that full amount. I made these out in my name and signed them and sent them in, and they said because I've got payroll time in here that town's getting reimbursed for, that somebody else needs to sign it. So. But there's the packet, the whole packet. That's includes our labor. You'll see here's labor. And
That's
then
the one I
there's-
looked at the other day, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. Equipment, time that we put on our different pieces of equipment and the rates and the total amount. 2 sheets of that, and then any materials we use, which most of it come out of our pit. And then, contract services, which was Camp Precast for the box culvert, Goodhue excavation, Harrison Ready Mix, and then Pike for paving the patch, and Lafayette's for the guardrail. And the amounts of what it all added up to be. And then proof, our payroll time and equipment. And then an invoice and copy of a check for each item. And this got a price list from Leach's is how we determine what the value per yard of what our stuff's worth. And they all these
okay.
grant processes allow that,
Compare.
right?
Yeah.
So for instance, we use some screen gravel at Leach's at $7 a yard. Some of the stuff's $14, $10 for topsoil, so.
How much is it? $14 for topsoil?
$14, $10 for topsoil, $14 for some of the crushed stone, that type of stuff. So. Mulch hay from Pat Valancourt, grass seed from Bates's in a check. That's the box culvert, which was the most expensive piece, $36,685. Check to pay for it, and Goodhue's was the $21,485. So that's all there. And
But you said it came in a little bit under budget.
it did, yeah. The original estimate, Jimmy Smith did the estimate. He helped me with this one here. So that original was 129. Is that on there somewhere? It's 129,000. Yep. And so we did it for 94,000.
Nice. And so does our match
Our match,
is
yeah.
up the 94, or is the match up the 124?
Well, if you add up like salaries and benefits,
Yeah.
our salaries is like our time and equipment and material. Anything we put towards it is
Right. So we're
part of
paying
our
that
match.
anyway.
So our labor and equipment use was pretty much our match, because if you add them up, I think
But is the match? Oh, was it just a number? Like you had to match 7,000, or
this
was
was
it a percentage?
it was a percentage, 25% match.
25% of the 129,
Yes,
or of the total, or
Of
of
the total.
of the total.
Yeah.
So the total was 94,814. So
They would do 75% of that.
So
Right.
75% of that. Okay, gotcha.
75% of that they'll pay. Yeah,
Gotcha.
up to
Up to
the
what
maximum amount was
Right.
96.
Okay,
96,750 was the maximum amount they would have gone to. So
gotcha.
if it had cost 150,000, well, they really only paid them 96,750.
Gotcha.
And
So
that's
it really didn't cost us a lot because we did it in kind work.
yep. Labor that we're going to get paid for anyways, and we'd have been burning fuel somewhere anyways, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
materials. Well, yeah, I mean that's once you've used it, it's gone, but it didn't cost us
Sign of the year.
what we had. Yep. No, right up this line right here. Doesn't have to.
So this one's printed
Right.
and top of the signature.
Yeah, I typed it in there so that you wouldn't have
Okay.
to.
Got the only page on this one.
Yep. And on that other one, that's their administration stuff, so I had some time in there, and Jimmy Smith's time's in there as well. He had about $2,000 or about $1,950, just a little bit over them, the allotted amount, and I had a couple thousand, so
I imagine putting all this time together
Yeah.
to strip
Yeah,
this out.
exactly.
the wetlands permit stuff was a lot of time involved in that. So I called to see if I could take, seems how that was gonna cover Jimmy's time, if I could take my time off there and add it to this, seems how this was running under, they said no. Probably shouldn't do that.
Next time, don't ask.
If they'd ever, the only way they would, known if they looked at your daily worksheets and
Right.
stuff, so you're making phone calls and sending emails, and that's administration stuff now. But it wouldn't have made a lot of difference. Another $1,400 or so they would have gotten out of it, but. Jimmy had some time on that as well as I did before, but you'll notice these dates that they reference. This 10/5 was the date you signed the contract.
Oh,
So anything after that, they'll cover. We've run into that before where we turned in time before that date was signed of the contract. They said, oh, that's not eligible because the contract didn't start until here, even though you're getting ready for it or applying or whatever. But
Yeah.
Hi, Greta.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
all right. Personnel policy. I know you
Yeah,
guys talked about
we-
it and did some stuff with
We
it.
did. We changed it. So now, have you seen the change?
No,
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I know. I asked one other time and you weren't here, but they said you had.
You haven't sent it to me.
You said
I
you
haven't
had
sent it to
you had worked on it or whatever. So.
You called and you said, did I send it to you? I'm like, oh, you're like, gonna be on it.
I haven't sent it to her. Okay.
Okay,
No, I
just a reminder or question.
The change was that, and I'm going to do this completely by memory, so bear with me. But the change was that you're encouraged to take your vacation, but if that was not the case, then you could be paid out, but it could not exceed 1 week. Now this is where I'm getting fuzzy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Was it 1 week?
It was.
It was 1 week. And so basically the motion get paid out at the end is 1 week paid vacation. Unless you're unable to take it, like we had talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're coming to that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh.
And,
I'm going to be taking some time off next couple of weeks. So.
okay. And I think it could be argued that considering here we are November, the end of November, and we're just informing you of that now.
Yeah, but
That-
they were aware of it last year.
Oh, right, I see what you're saying.
I mean,
Yeah, no, exactly, I see what you're saying. Yep.
You got, is there a lot left?
Yeah. I think Lucius has got about a week. Cecil's got pretty near 2 weeks. I haven't taken hardly really nothing, so I got like
Tons.
3.5 weeks. But I'm going to be taking a couple weeks off. And now Gary's going to have some left too, I think. Maybe a half a week or something, I don't know. 20 hours or something, but
So you can get paid for the hat,
yeah.
anything
So most of them 1 week would cover
cover.
Yeah.
Cecil.
Yeah, me. So, well, I've got, like I said, I plan on taking the next couple weeks off, but I've seen
And-
times when I
and
planned on
weather.
that before, and then
Well,
we get a lot
exactly.
of big snow.
And if you get into that position, then they just put it in writing and then pay you out. Mm-hmm.
But I usually take some days off here and there too to for other, between now and the end of the year. So.
Right.
Get your Christmas shopping done. Huh?
All right.
Oh, please.
That's always fun.
Gosh.
Yep. Okay.
But I'll send that to Billy Joe so you can at least show it to the guys.
Yep.
And then if you need me to come and, I kept thinking about getting in there, but I never did.
Yeah, Cecil's got 2 weeks. They're pretty close.
Is he planning on taking any?
It's gonna be hard for him to, or anybody to, really.
I know, we'll see.
Because
That's-
I want some time off. Gary's taking
Well,
some time off now.
That's when you get into the position of, it's not feasible for us all to take it, so you get in that position.
Yeah.
'Cause you got basically half the year that you guys have. It's hard to take a lot of
Right.
vacation time because of
Yeah.
the conditions of the roads.
Yeah.
So you
And
can't-
summertime, you got summer projects you're trying to get
Exactly.
accomplished, trying to get
Box
done.
culverts
So,
and what have you. So if you,
Yeah.
I think the road crew is definitely more in a position to put that type of stuff in writing, opposed to maybe somebody from the ambulance who.
It's hard for us to set a schedule. put
I
it that
know.
way. It isn't like, well, I'm gonna work
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and I don't have to work the rest of the week. But
And a windstorm comes or
yeah, yeah, you
ice
never know.
storm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and winter starts early,
Yeah.
Yep.
earlier than it has in the last couple years.
Wasn't it dramatic, that storm? With the boom, and then winter was here. Boom!
Yeah.
That was very cool. Okay.
That's all I have for questions, unless there's something else on the agenda.
Not for you, I don't think.
Okay.
If he doesn't have anything with Greta or...
Nope. Greta's town revitalization.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Grant.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, yeah, we seem to be on schedule, 6:30, so.
really.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep. Get this out of the way.
Well, that we were discussing Opera High School.
Oh, you are?
At quarter of, just because they
It's
have a-
6:45.
I'm okay, okay, I'll hang out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Greta,
Yeah. Hi.
how's it going?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Doing well. Did Bethany tell you how when she came with the salt shed and I was like, I picked out a consultant and everything with your grant in mind? And I said I picked this one because look at all the streetscaping they've done. And she's like, no, salt shed. I was like, oh, wrong grant. I was like reading all these proposals with your grant in mind and not her grant in mind. So I came thinking I had done my homework, but it was for the wrong grant.
Well, no, hopefully, this, by this time next year, you will
And then
have selected a new lady
Exactly.
consultant.
Okay. Ah, that's funny.
Yeah, so the grant's due January 31st. We're, starting to put together a narrative, a work plan, schedule the application conference. Just really in earnest getting the grant writing started. And so this is the Better Connections Grant Program. It's a partnership between the Vermont Agency of Transportation and the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. Look at projects that really connect land use and transportation opportunities. One of the types of projects that can be funded are what they call activity center plans, but that's really a master plan for a downtown or village center area, looking at physical improvements primarily that would enhance pedestrian opportunities, but also they can include other features that would promote economic development and in the downtown. So what what I'm proposing that you focus on and what the group seems to support is physical improvements to the streetscape. So a master plan that would look at different improvements that would improve bicycle and pedestrian accessibility in the village center, and then also sort of a marketing and branding plan that would look at wayfinding for primarily your recreation assets. And that sort of ties in also to the physical improvements, because wayfinding can end up being physical improvements, and so it's those two will play hand in hand. So that's what we're looking at for the focus of the plan. So it's going to be a $60,000 application, match ideally split between the town and the village. It's going to be, the village will be the primary applicant, and it's just on the application form we just note that are other municipalities involved? Are they committing match? And we say yes, Town of Enosburgh, they're committing this match. And we'll just have a letter of support that documents that you have that match, and that you
I forget the match.
3,000.
3,000, right? Okay. I mean, our half.
That's your half of it.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was like 7. So
3 and
yeah,
3.
3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
36.
3 and 3.
Okay.
So as we, I think so. There's the application. I think has a really it's going to be very competitive. I have
Oh, it is.
well, I guess there's two ways to use that word. It is a very competitive program, as in it's a statewide competition, and there's only going to be about 3 or 4 projects statewide that are funded. At the same time, I think the application that we're putting together is going to be very competitive.
Okay.
The state is, meaning Agency of Commerce and Community Development, is very aware of Enosburgh and the grassroots effort you have going on with the Enosburgh initiative in terms of planning, economic development in your village area, and the amount of community support and different community organizations that are involved in that effort. And they've been to the community, and they see sort of that momentum, and I think are excited. And it will be easy to really make that argument that you're ready for this. And so, one of the a master plan, I mean, so that you're going to get a document at the end that looks like a plan. There's going to be a physical element to that, so an illustrative element to that, showing maps of your streetscape, perhaps maps that include sort of wayfinding elements. But in the end, it's going to have, narrative, and it's going to identify a vision, and it's going to identify, an implementation and action steps to implement that plan. So that's what you're looking at. There's going to be work to do once this plan is done. It's going to be more than just the sort of type of plan that you're used to seeing through a municipal plan. It's more specific, it's bigger, and it's more focused on like physical improvements and projects that are going to be ready to do. There's one of the major pieces of the application is going to be explaining the community support you have, and the impact this plan will have on your economy, or the potential impact that it will have. And then also we'll explain the public engagement piece, like how you want to engage the community in developing this plan. That will be a big piece of it, and Rise Vermont is going to be participating in that element of it.
Nice. Yeah. Actually,
And sort of I have a meeting planned with those partners on the 28th to really figure out what that piece is going to look like. But we've started to come up with ideas.
yeah, I ran into them in the library today. They were brainstorming. They
Yeah.
were working on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it does need to come from you. Like, what existing community events are there that we could incorporate into that engagement plan? Because it really is going to work better to reach, the entire community if we sort of bring the project to where they are going to be.
Now I noticed, so just looking at your letter, it's very village specific, which makes sense because that's kind of like the planning and the process. But will the plan also focus on kind of like the town and village holistically, or is it just going to be like village?
I mean, from the concept or from the perspective of it being your like the town's village center, the town's growth center, in a similar way to your municipal plan.
Right.
I mean, that's what I was envisioning. But
I
what
was
are
just
your
thinking,
thoughts?
well, when you're just talking about like, marketing, resources and recreation,
If
like
there's
will it go outside of the village center?
Well, the recreation piece certainly can.
yeah.
That's what I was wondering, like, is the plan going to encompass kind of like, okay, this is our vision for Enosburgh Village, and this is like streetscape, and here are some action steps for the village, but is it going to kind of like look at how can you encompass the whole town?
So
or no?
as far as any sort of physical improvements to the streetscape, that's going to be
It's gonna
specific
village,
to the village.
That makes sense.
If there are amenities that are going to help promote the village as a whole and help
Right.
that are specifically recreation or others that make sense from we're talking about marketing the village, but but the village is also the recreation amenities don't just end at the village.
That's right.
So I think that's going to be part of the discussion.
Okay.
And it's going to be really up to you up to the community to figure out like how far they want to go in marketing the village and what does
Right.
marketing the village mean.
And certainly the benefit spills over. I mean, the
Right,
marketing of the
yeah.
village as a whole, economically is also hopefully, enticing people to think about this as where they want to land as they're
Right.
looking at where they're going to buy, where they're going to live.
Right.
Which maybe we really like the village of Enosburgh, but we want to live on the outside of Enosburgh.
Right.
So we want to, so I think as a whole, that benefit's going to spill over.
Right.
Well, and I
And the
think-
recreation's going to spill over.
And when you're marketing Enosburgh, you are marketing it at, for its place in the region
Right.
and what connections it has. I mean, the rail trail connects
That's what I
to
was.
other
Right.
recreation amenities. It connects to trails in Quebec. It can,
Right.
so there's that piece of it.
Okay.
So to the extent that it really captures like the full offerings that Enosburgh has. I mean, Jay Peak is not that far away, and it may make sense to sort of bring that into the way that you market
Right.
the village. But it's sort of, that's definitely the conversation that will happen during the community engagement piece. And yeah,
Right.
I think it'll be great to sort of you'll really be able to have that conversation about what our identity is and how do we want, how do we want to tell that story. So that's going to be what the consultant will help you do.
Okay.
Might be one more step in that cohesive piece.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like it would be, I mean, it's great that there's this kind of focus on, you know, business downtown, but, would the plan like kind of address holistically, like the vision of Enosburgh, I don't know.
Yeah, it just might
Yeah.
be something that motivates other things to
And
tie
just
in closer together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think this plan is really looking at, you know, the community as a whole,
Right.
Enosburgh and Enosburgh Village as a
Right.
whole.
Okay.
But you're talking about sort of,
Nuances almost that are going to happen.
Will be addressed, but not necessarily the focus.
Well, I,
Well,
Right.
I mean, there's different, you know,
Yeah.
we have the physical improvements to the village. I mean,
Right.
we're talking about the vibrancy and vitality definitely of the downtown area or the village center area. But everyone, you know, the whole community, that the vibrancy of the downtown area is important to the entire community.
Right.
Being Enosburgh town and
Right.
the village. And there are, you know, recreation amenities and perhaps other amenities that make that village special because of where it is and how it's connected to those outside amenities. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, it'll be a community plan in whole, but we're
Right.
not, yeah, I don't know.
I gotcha.
It's definitely focusing on the vibrancy of the village
The
center.
downtown, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So we need to commit a match to go to, so you can have a letter to write.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially the point of the letter, is to say that you're supportive of the application, you believe that it will benefit your community, and that you will commit the match, or that you have those funds available.
Right.
So we need to have a motion for the,
So,
accept that.
yeah. So,
So we can go
And then
on.
I was, as I think I identified in the email, is that I'll, could I correspond with you via
Yeah.
email?
Yep.
As I get that letter
Sure.
completed in the next week or
so
two.
would Larry need to sign that letter, or
The
can-
chair, or, I
He's
mean,
the chair, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we would just bring it to our December 4th meeting. Is that
Mhm.
fine?
For
Okay.
sure.
All right. Thoughts before I make a motion? Move?
Second.
Oh, look, I didn't even have to. Look at that.
awesome.
So, so I take it as motion to accept the support and commit to the match
Yes.
for the Better Connection Grant. Any more discussion? If have none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Alright.
Great. That's exciting.
Yeah.
In the village, you've been to them?
I've been to the village,
And
yep.
That went well?
That went well,
Okay.
yep. They, have committed the match, and they're the lead applicant, so we're not
Right.
getting a letter from them, we're.
They're getting the application. Exactly. They have
They're
the
the ones
application.
applying.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
Good.
hopefully by the spring, we'll have an award, and you'll be looking how
Let's
to
hope.
do an RFP to select a consultant.
Okay, I have one picked out.
But we will be doing a competitive.
No, exactly. Competitive bid.
Procurement.
I can't tell you. I read those packets. I was like, this is the one.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Everybody looked at me like I had three heads. I'm like, look at all the streetscaping they've done, all the revitalization. Everybody's like, what is she talking about? Like, oh, salt shed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Etta.
Opera House.
So do we have somebody coming in for the Opera House?
Take care. Good night.
No, it wasn't, you guys were just gonna go over the money part of it.
Ah.
But she happened to stop it, so I
Okay.
said
I was
to
gonna
her,
say, by luck of the
Hey.
draw, I didn't
Well,
know.
when I saw you
Exactly.
first come in, I thought that's what
know.
you're here for.
That's what I thought
So
too.
what I came in for initially, and then we'll get into, is that we have had a request for a rental on January 6th, and traditionally we close for the winter, try to conserve and all that. We have an event, I believe it's the 28th or 29th, silver and gold. The 29th, so it's like 7 days after. So I threw it at our board, and I said our board is not the one to answer this question. I can ask the select board. And then when you said I'm leaving for a select board meeting, I'm like, oh, I'll follow her out and ask the question. So we'd like to have
Oh,
permission to instead of closing, which probably wouldn't happen until the 1st because it's New Year's Eve, can we close on the 7th?
Who's renting it, did you say?
Don't know. It's a surprise. I don't think it's a surprise. It's a private rental. They'd like to rent it for a 60th birthday. So it's a rental option. So we would love to be able to take in every little penny that we can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, we're pushing it a week. So if it's all right with you, we would like to be able to take that rental.
I think that's good.
What do we, I'm just gonna throw it out there, what do we charge for the rental?
Well, you know, I should know, but I don't. I know in my day it was nonprofit was I think 125 plus per hour, but I think they've changed the format of it, and I haven't looked at it since I've come back on the board, but that is up for discussion.
It's hourly, yeah.
Well, there's like a daily rate, and then there's a per hour rate.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think they upped them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they upped too much, we got some feedback from that and lost some rentals, so we've gone down a little bit because it does. If you're not renting it, you're not making anything. So,
Right.
so that is up for discussion about what our rate will be. I know it used to be like 125 plus. I want to say 25 an hour or something like that. So, like if you were renting for a party and you wanted to come in a couple hours ahead of time, you know, you were paying per hour the event and the cleanup. But you got to also paid the flat rate of the daily fee, which is kind of a scheme lots of them use. I don't know if we'll go forward in that direction or not, but something like that.
I think it's fine. Some money's better than no money.
Yep. And frankly, to be realistically, if Silver and Gold is the 29th, which is a Friday, I suspect that they would be in there that next week
Just cleaning up and all
cleaning
that.
up anyway, so where there's going to be bodies in there anyways. I'd like to get in there and do some cleaning myself, but I've yet to find the time to do that. So that's the request, and then I'm here for any of the rest of the conversation as well.
Windows and paint. That
Windows
was-
and paint. When do you guys, this is the budget for this year? No, it's 2007.
no,
That's
this is-
expenses for 2017.
I haven't seen them.
We've already gone over,
Oh,
because we were at 25, because we brought it down. We had,
Well, the
green room.
green room was
elevator,
supposed to be
tree
on
removal.
last year, but because of
there you go.
it got all clustered, it got put on this year. So that would have put you down in the right spot.
But that elevators,
Elevator.
that sinks us all the time.
The elevators are ridiculous. So I went out, I think this is the same guy you've had since way back when, and I went out for bids for like 3 or 4 elevator companies. And this is the one that came out, but it is atrocious.
Well, one of the bills was because the buttons are missing or something. They came in, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, it's really not funny, but
Yeah.
where did they go? I mean, where did the
Did
buttons
the
go?
buttons get missing or were they broken?
Gone. Broken and missing buttons is what the inspection said.
Huh.
And
So
then
I know,
between inspection costs, because the guy has to come, then they have to
oh,
come
I know, they
fix it.
charge for every time
It's
they lift a
ridiculous how
freezer.
expensive it is.
Um,
It's like, where did they go? Is there any cameras?
huh. Can I get a copy of that?
What, of this?
Yeah.
Financial?
You don't
I
mind?
was, yeah, I was just saying,
Oh, I'll
Googled
I'll
online.
take, here's. I think what has happened, I don't know, because I don't see them moving the chairs as much as I did. They've been leaving them up there, which can be a good thing. So when you're manhandling those chair racks with the chairs onto the elevators, if we could do it again. Anyways, you have to go in, you have to turn left instead of, and it's just a cluster and you're trying to move it around and it does bang up on like I know the one bulb does get banged up. I don't know how the buttons get banged up, but I'm just presuming something like that has happened. I don't know. So, hey, James is here.
Hey, James.
So that could be possibly one of the things. I'm not here to take your place. I came in for another question.
James.
But so that could be that. But so there's nothing to roll over next year to paint. It's going to be just.
Unless you budget in paint.
Yeah.
Well, you were going to take some from the Stanley line. Did you ever find that? Billy Joe, how much you were retaining for match?
I did look, I think it was just, we just didn't put in, we put in that we were retaining some for match, but we didn't put in an amount.
Okay, I will relook at my notes to see what I would have been requesting of you guys. So I know at some point you talked about using some of that Stanley money line for the painting. But I did come to this board in my previous position to ask that a certain amount, and I will research that because she does have it in there, but not the amount, be retained for the possibility of a grant that says we need match money. And boom, we would already have the match money set aside. I just can't remember how much of that line was asked to be retained that you did agree to. So I'll get that number to you, and so that can be updated in the minutes, so it can be reflected and be able to see as we go forward. I presume the paint and windows and paint was, so did you send, I didn't see the email, did you send it out to everybody in the board?
No, I just talked to a few people.
Okay.
You know, and everybody's pretty much
Yeah,
in agreement that it's okay, and the guys at Tech Center said they would be able to take care of it after hunting season's over.
What's that, the windows?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take out the windows and put clapboard in there, and so then, and be within that $300.
250, I guess was the figure.
250 or
that you gave me, Billy Joe. 250
250.
for labor. Then utilize Sticks and Ace on their account for the material.
So,
There'll be primed clapboards, and so when the paint does come in, it'll come in. And again, if anybody wanted to reverse renovate anything, you're able to do it because you're keeping the frame and the window frame in there. There's other aspects to the building that are like that. When we did the draperies, we retained all the pieces to the original hardware for the windows. The windows would transom open at the top, and we did work to make them more weatherproof and kept that. So if everybody wanted to reverse it, and also just so you know, on the stage itself, around the edge, the footlights are still under the floor. So those pieces of wood can be taken out, and the footlights, the original footlights are there.
Oh, neat.
George Moskovitz did all that work,
Right.
taking pieces of wood from the back and bringing them up front to match it, so that if anybody wanted to redo those footlights, like in the
Yeah.
old vaudeville days, they're there, so,
Wow,
yeah.
cool.
So you didn't see the expenses for this year?
This is
Yeah.
where I'm seeing it.
Oh, James.
Yeah.
I was just saying James.
so okay.
So we're actually over budget already because we rolled that green room ahead from last year, and had some other
The tree.
elevator and tree expenses that showed up, and
Well, the tree removal, there was no way around that. That was,
yeah.
so, and then green room is,
It was done in December of
Yeah.
last year, so.
I mean,
So
but
yeah, we were anticipating rolling ahead some of the money for the painting into next year, but there really won't be anything to roll ahead out of the budget.
right.
And
Is there
that-
grants available for that? I mean, should we be applying for a grant to help out with that expense?
I mean, I guess you could check historical grants.
Well, I'm thinking
Or
downtown
painting.
designation. Downtown designation allows you to do some facade stuff and whatnot. I wonder if they would allow,
Yeah, you could check it
if
out.
that would, I mean,
I called Dana Kennison just because I knew we were going to talk about paint, like just ballpark, like how much would the whole building cost if, I mean, complete ballpark if we
what
had
did
to
he give you
budget.
for the two sides?
18. So for the whole thing, we were probably looking at like 40,
That's,
like with paint and everything.
and that's not a bad price.
No, exactly.
That's not a bad price.
Huh?
4.
40 for
40.
painting the whole thing,
The whole
building,
thing,
exterior.
right, and paint and all of
Yeah.
that.
40.
40,000.
40,000.
You've got a painter here who does.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Two,
Beat.
A lot of money.
two sides was 18,000.
Yeah.
You just don't, you know, it used to be that's the
Yeah.
kind of work that that you had people coming out of the woods to be able, you know, that would do, you know, teachers in the summertime, you know. Well, you know, my last 10 years that I painted, I could not get any of my colleagues to come work.
There you
And
go.
I don't think it was
Right,
because they
right.
didn't like me.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
they told me, they flat out told me, said I can do something else, make as much money and not beat up my body
Yeah,
as much.
who would paint? I painted my house, and
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
Now, in that bid, were they renting a lift? Is there a lift
that
rental
was
in there?
all like lift.
You'd
Was that
think it would be
everything?
less than half, though.
Was that a
It
big
was-
piece?
It was
do you mean?
scraping,
It was
rental.
18 for
paint.
two sides.
Scraping for two sides.
Did they,
18.
We weren't even buying.
But it's gonna be even more because the thing is that
Right.
You have
still got
that-
the tower.
The tower, exactly.
did they piece out the
Oh, so
rental?
the two sides
for
didn't
that?
include any of the
No,
towers.
they
Not-
only gave
nothing.
us
Right.
flat, it was kind of scribbled on a piece of paper, they did not itemize.
Could you get from them, I mean, you've already approved them to
Mhm.
do the, could you get them the breakout for the rental and see if we could get some, hey, will you donate
the lift
for, 2 weeks and get, I mean,
Yeah.
if
Well,
that brings it
Technically-
down.
Technically did not approve them because they have not done the certification that was.
The lead-based-
It was on the.
Right. We
On the
picked them
fence.
because they were, for bidding, they were the only people who put in a bid. So obviously they were the ones brought to the table.
And they said their workload is just hard to fit anything in. And when they get it to do something like that, it's hard to justify not doing the whole thing.
So that shocks you, that price, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so maybe what we need to do is have you paint it once, and
No.
then you'll never,
It's like,
you will
where is he?
never.
I just it's for maintenance of the outside of a building, 40,000. And how often does that have to happen?
I really feel strongly about this. If you have, and you should have, as the owners have to say, but I would not ever, from this day forward, ever put any more semi-gloss paint on there. As pretty as it only looks pretty for a year. All right, I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to flat or go to a stain. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you will.
It'll last longer.
It will last long. It breathes.
Mm-hmm.
The water vapor there can escape. It's a little chalky maybe, but it's protected. The wood's protected.
Yeah.
And I know semi-gloss really dresses it up and it looks really nice, but it's a more brittle product. And then of course when the heating and the cold, the expansion and contraction
yeah.
of this thing, it doesn't last. And the sun,
When was the last time it was painted?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. I mean, it's been quite some time, so.
it has not been painted since I've been on the board, and I've been on the board for.
I think Dana
Dana
said he
years.
painted. He was the last one to paint it.
Oh, it wasn't painted when I
No.
was there.
I
I
thought
think Scott painted it.
I thought Scott painted it. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
Craig was
Dana
on the
did it
board.
probably before
Scott
Scott.
Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably every 15 to 20 years, probably 20 years.
It just looks like heck.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
And
in
the other thing
process.
is to get on a schedule of, I mean, at some point, I'm sure the foundation needs repointing. There's a checklist of things we should be doing. And we could have tackled a side, a side or two sides and got it done, and then it wouldn't have been this big hit, but we've waited too long.
I mean, if nobody can remember for sure, or you got a name and it's before your time, then
Well,
Yeah.
so.
when did I start? In 2008.
I remember thinking when I was in high school they were doing it. That was in the 80s. That was probably when Dana did it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Scott Gates did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are fewer painters around.
Yeah.
They're just, nobody wants to do that kind of work. Or they do it once and they're saying, I'll never do this again.
I'll never do it again. It was horrible.
Get the guys from Kentucky to come up for the barn roofs, but that's a little different.
I know.
And they have to, yeah. And because they've done it and they scrape it, that means all the difference in the world too is the prep, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And nobody likes to do prep.
That's what I hated. Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah. So,
So, maybe check out grants. Maybe, well, so this is weird when you ask somebody to itemize, but they're not necessarily your chosen bid. How do you do that? If we have to bid it, do we have to
We'll
bid
just-
it again?
We'll just put it out to bid again next year.
You didn't,
And
I mean,
then-
they've, whoa. If you talk to these guys and they said, we're gonna do it, and they're gonna put it in
No,
the
no.
No, there was nothing like that.
No.
Oh,
He
okay.
came in and he said, I mean, there was a big discussion, but it was not, you have the job. It was, we understand if you don't hire us because we're not lead certified, yada, yada. Maybe we'll think about doing it over the winter, but there was no decisions.
If you're gonna put out a bid, put out the bid
No.
now. So that you can get someone committed to do it in the spring, or else this conversation is gonna be happening next fall.
Well, we have to do the budget first to see if that can even swing. Because last year we were in the hole pretty good. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But if it's feasible, we'll put out.
Well, how much is in the Stanley line?
30.
30. So I'm sure there's probably at least 20 that's available that's not committed to. I mean, I'll look back and find out the figure, but you've got
Okay.
20,000 in the Stanley line, so you could at least go back out for the.
And that 30 is shared among a couple
No.
of different, that's just the Opera House
No,
share?
just Opera House.
Okay,
Everyone else got a 32.
okay.
Yeah, Historical Society and
Library.
But I had asked them to restrict a portion of that for matches for later on for our
Mhm.
grant, and I
Right.
can't remember how much that was. Was it 10, 15? I can't remember. It might have been a percentage. I can't. I'll have to find that.
So, were you pretty much done with your, I have a couple of questions.
I was asking about the rental in January.
Oh, so you did, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
So I just got that response, and I was at a meeting, and she said she's had a select board meeting. I said, well, I guess I'll pop in.
so,
School board.
so what's your take on it?
You know how I already said how I felt. Now it's up to you too.
Well, they asked how much, she wasn't sure how much.
Yeah, the,
How much the rental is?
Yeah, I said, I don't know.
M didn't tell us. She didn't even tell, what'd she say was the event?
60th birthday party.
So, okay,
But how much is the hourly rate when you rent the place?
I don't know, I'd have to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends on what it is they want from us too,
Mm-hmm.
so. I mean, we have contracts for them.
what was the date again on that?
It's a 6. So like I said, we have silver and gold on the 29th. You're going to have people in the building. I don't think we're going to have Andy and Em going in closing up on New Year's Eve weekend. So that's the point, you
So
know.
there's the first.
So they're going to
The
come in.
6th of December?
No,
January.
6th
6th
of January.
But they have an event here.
So we have an event here. That's our end of the year
And then
event.
we have New Year's,
Yep.
which will, oh, no more. Which will carry you over to the Monday.
So
Which
6th
would-
would
is
be
the
on a
first.
Saturday.
Second is a
7th,
Tuesday.
8th.
So your holiday would be Monday. So
So
you'd
it's
they'd probably be in Tuesday or Wednesday to start doing whatever they're doing. And they could focus on downstairs. There's not a lot really to do, but so that, you know, we're asking to extend it a few days for the rental. And then it's closed. She goes into the office, but that's a separate heater. It's just for that room.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the whole building. We figured out keeping the elevator closed was the way to do it, not keep it open, because we're just a chimney pulling up the heat from downstairs. We figured that out one year. They have to bring the piano downstairs so it's can stay humidified, and the back is heated anyways. That's where all your water pipes are. And other than that, they're not in there until sometime in March when we start cleaning and getting things ready for hopefully a
opening.
booking in April.
So what's a cost of heat for a week? That's what we're talking about.
Well, it doesn't. You turn the upstairs off, turn it down, and then you turn it on the day before the event. Right now, they're not heating the upstairs all the time.
But when you turn it on a day before the event, it's not really warming it enough. I mean, I've heard a lot of complaints about people going to the craft fairs
Well,
or to the concert. Like last year, people, they were freezing at the concert.
Yeah, I don't know what time they turned on the heat.
This year?
Or last year. I know at the craft fair,
It was chilly.
the problem is we need to get a drape at the bottom of those stairs because they had it on
Every
and
time they open
heated
the
and it's
door,
nice and warm. But all the crafters, when they bring in their stuff, they're coming in on the stairwell as well. So that stairwell door is open, the side door is open, and all your
Heat is gone.
ability to heat has just gone out because they've kept everything. They're carrying it in boxes. They've got dollies. So that's part of why it's so
Yeah, we
chilly
heat the
there.
outside.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
no
what happens.
avoiding it.
There's no avoiding that part. But it would help if we had a draped curtain at the bottom of the stairs because when the doors are open there, the cold air comes right up. Not when they're using the stairwell door to go outside, but in general, I've always thought that would help because you can't get people to keep that stairwell door shut at the bottom. Yeah. So I mean, neither here nor there. Or just, I'm sure the rental
Yeah.
people would like
So,
to know.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Opera House continues to be used, I mean, which is what the people who built it and gave it to the town wanted. So we're using it quite a bit.
Mhm.
So the public is getting, good use out of it, and we are running a variety of events in there.
Mhm.
And unlike the previous year, we ended up in the hole last year. But this year we're gonna end up in the black. So we dug ourselves out, and made to the good. So we're getting better in terms of figuring out what's worth doing and what's not worth doing.
Right.
So, I mean,
Are you able to share that information with us?
yeah, we can give you our year-end report. Sure. Absolutely. We're oftentimes, when I have the opportunity to mingle with audiences, I ask people, how'd you hear about us, or what do you
Okay.
what do you this people, and especially the performers say, this is such a jewel. This is such a jewel. The acoustics in there are so good. Performers love the building to perform in, and our audiences who are not from this area necessarily, who come in, are pretty impressed. Because there are not too many too many places like this.
No. There's like 7
There are
opera
not too
houses
many in the state of
state.
Vermont, and there are fewer outside of Vermont. So we have a really unique resource.
So what source do they say they hear about it?
Some of it's word of mouth, Facebook. I think probably Facebook and word of mouth are the two things. It's really funny because different events pull in totally different audiences, and you would be surprised. I mean, we had the Johnny Cash
Tribute show or whatever.
Elvis tribute show. I mean, I saw people there I'd never seen before in my life, and some of them from Enosburgh.
Yeah. You still have people come in like, oh, I've never been here. This is amazing. Like, you've never been in here.
You're
I
from
live in
Eno-
Berkshire.
Oh, that's so
or whatever.
But even people who
In
live here in
Enosburgh,
Enosburgh never been inside the Opera House. Now, granted, when I moved to Vermont in '85, the first time I set foot into it was '86, and that was because my wife was the class advisor to the kids who were putting on the prom. And other than the prom, I don't know if the Opera House is being used much back in that time.
Well, it was disaster.
So.
Yeah.
So it is a very unique resource.
And that has played well also in when the state people came for the EBI. That was one of the tour spots, and that was impressive for them that we have that here as well for just recreation and entertainment. And I always go back to Val Bunk, who says, I don't like theater, but I support it, and he does financially. Says it's a really good thing for our community to have. So
Yeah. I mean, it's a good place for performing arts.
Yep.
Kids, young kids, if your kids are not particularly inclined for sports, but you like theater and you like music, you've got a place, that they can go
My
to. And
youngest.
Now we're constantly figuring out the promotion piece too. As I realized that I didn't hit that the way I should. I realized that in my business, I'm becoming just all these things have made me super aware that promotion has to be at the top of the priority list with anything, and we're always striving to do that a little better. And in our budget, it's going to have to be reflected that we put the proper money towards promotion to get. the
And
people
we
out
are
there.
getting
Yeah.
better at it, I think.
And we learn as we go. Yeah. And it's weird. It's a great thing to have Facebook, which is a freebie out there.
Yeah.
So
But people still like to see the ad and the poster in the window. So,
when's the last time you were in the Opera House for an event? Did you go this summer?
Yeah, I went to the,
King and I?
no, I
I
went
think
to
you
the
went to
vote.
the music thing, didn't you?
The music thing there with the guys, in the kilts.
Irish.
Okay,
Irish Pride
Pride,
at-
and
on
that
St.
was last
Patrick's Day?
spring.
I
Okay.
think so.
that was fun.
How about you?
For a while.
Like a while, like before it was painted, or?
It was probably June Dairy Day
Oh, dairy pageants.
pageants
Okay.
back when Brittany was in Mickey. So that's probably 10 years ago. 10
And
years
how about
ago.
you, Billy
Mine
Joe?
is pageants.
Pageants, but that's pretty much it when you go. Yeah. How about Gary?
Probably the last time he was there was for voting.
Uh-huh.
To vote.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So,
That's right, yeah.
I mean, we've
yeah.
done everything from wrestling to tribute shows and musicals.
Well, I think,
and
what's her name
concerts.
stole the thing I wanted to use. I didn't realize it's what she used, but because it was kind of stuffy, and there was people saying, oh, you know, you get this volunteer at the top of the thing. So when I started, it was like, we're going to make this our house, and I used the word highbrow to hoedown,
Uh-huh.
but that was Heather's thing.
Heather,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
And she
Yeah.
let it, and that was her name, and so
So-
literally we have brought highbrow to hoedown
Right.
there, and so we've had a mezzo soprano from Montreal with a piano, amazing, where we've had hokey plays, we've had call contra dancing and everything,
Right.
everything, yeah, yep.
So we try to put something on there so that anybody in the community would find something
Yeah.
that they would like to attend.
And the balance is to not, last year, I think, responding to the community, we've got to get all these activities in there. We overextended our volunteers and our ability to really do well with promoting the events. And this year, that's part of the change we've made, and it's helped the bottom line.
And the other piece of the difficulty from the previous year is that we were experimenting in terms of with what we were trying to offer, and we put on some of the plays or the musicals that were technically, intellectually interesting, but they just didn't have crowd appeal.
They need a classic.
You
People
know.
like to go to what they know.
And they like to go with what they know, and they
Yep.
like stuff that has lots of kids in it.
Yep.
Right.
You know, if you can have 20 kids, little kids in the play, you're going to draw
You get
all the
grandparents,
relatives.
uncles, and
3 nights
cousins.
out of the week.
And we
you
got
know,
and we
keep
got
going.
and we got that piece figured out. You know, we made out okay on those performances.
My kid's in one.
So
This
we're
summer.
going to do one of those a year, and then anything else after that will be a lot more like the one acts that we did, where even if you get 50 people that show up, you're not losing any money. You know, you're
Right.
making
Yeah.
a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
at least on refreshments, if nothing else. And they don't tie up the opera house that much. And
And I told them, like, they had asked me about the rental. I said, I don't know, but I know that that's on our topic to revamp.
Right.
Remember, we're supposed to get
Yeah.
together, you, me, and Matt and Denny. So,
I don't know if you have any other questions.
we do need direction on whether we can tell these people they can rent it or not.
So.
If you guys find it feasible, you can.
You mean
I'll make,
Is the income gonna exceed the
Yeah.
expense?
is it gonna pay for
Basically.
itself?
Mm.
Bingo. I mean, if you're gonna give it away for free, then shut her down, but,
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
well,
And we can't
The
afford
things
that.
we do for free are with municipally through the town.
Conservation Commission, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, do we do that for conservation? Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the prom, because the taxpayers are paying, you know, they're all municipal activities and taxes are paying for them, so we feel like that's that situation, so. Yep.
I mean, you could probably break down about the cost of what the fuel would be, and if you're gonna be needing the fuel for 2 or 3 days, you could put a cost on that, then you'll know what your income
Right.
is, and hey, wow, it's gonna cost us more to heat this than
Then
what
we'll
we're
make
gonna
up,
get.
yeah.
Right.
So-
Maybe put a fuel
Yeah.
charge.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
You
we're still open
definitely
to.
must be
But then
seeing
the
an
thing is
improvement
that-
with natural gas, right? Like must
Well-
have been quite an impact.
What you can see on your thing is.
Hold on.
Still sick- it's a big building. It's not cheap.
Still, well, this is only through October.
That
November,
is
December.
good.
Well, it's good, but
Yeah.
it's still,
we still got November, December.
yeah, we still have.
But then the thing is
But I
that-
know, but we used to be like
Well,
at
we used to be in the 14.
18,000
Oh my
with that,
gosh.
yeah. So that's.
Who's St. Pierre? Good
Insurance.
cookie.
Insurance,
They keep their own insurance.
We have-
so
I know.
that cost in there is not.
but the group is going in.
Or they have their own insurance, but they would have to get a.
They have to provide us with a certificate.
Bingo.
Right.
Yep,
And
Yeah,
if
it's
they
a
have a
requirement.
caterer who does like alcohol.
They have their
Yeah.
own license.
Yeah.
Perfect.
as long as they've got insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, we're done with that kind of exposure. So
Until we can figure something else out, because that could be the end of us as insurance. Mm-hmm.
no, he's talking about the people who are renting it.
People are gonna rent it.
So if they have a wedding, they have to have their own insurance
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So,
No, I mean, about the insurance for the board, we gotta
Right.
figure something.
So
So I don't think the board's opposed to keeping it open longer as long as
Yeah.
the expense doesn't
Okay.
exceed it.
and it's nice. Going dark is nice for us too. Even though we still meet,
Yeah.
there's a lot less pressure in terms of
Yeah.
we're not getting anything. You know,
Get other
it's-
things done.
It's kind of a time period where we can decompress and we can think about.
Right.
And this is our planning time, and our dark time when we're dark is when we're planning for the following season. So,
It's just like our budget time.
and it's a process. It takes
So-
takes a while.
This year's budget, are you guys going back to the other amounts, or are you still staying down?
We have to see what we've
Well,
got
we
for
see, we'd like to go
taxes.
back, but
Yeah.
we don't know what we're gonna find this year, cause we've got a lot less money coming in.
And we had some big expenses with the plumbing part at the fire station. It was a big expense up there with some different issues that we had to install a new pump and
Yeah.
rail system there. I mean, there's just
Okay.
things that add up. So
Delinquencies are a lot higher this year. Every year it keeps going up.
Freaking delinquency. Oh my god.
Susie doesn't want to talk about that right now.
You're on TV.
Oh,
So, I want to make. What meeting would I make that motion to
You have
change
to
the
do it at
collectors
town meeting.
at town meeting, and I can do it from the
I will look it
floor?
up for you, but I think it's, because we do things like that from the floor, I think it has to be done. I will look it up for you. and-
Thank you, will you?
What date do you want to change?
I love our collector.
Yeah.
She's dear and sweet.
Oh, yes.
But the 8%,
Oh, I know.
But it is a deterrent. We need to remember that.
I know.
well, I mean, for me it was forgetfulness. It didn't matter what it was.
No,
you
and I
know?
understand, but you're the minority.
Yeah,
All right.
but that's an
But the
8%.
most of
Bam.
those that are on that list,
Repeat
Not-
offenders,
Forget.
habituals.
probably, if you say there's 100 people on that list, 90 of them are always on the list.
So the
But is it
8%
because they
hasn't
don't
deterred
have
them.
the- But is it because they don't have the money, or they just are not?
But then
paying?
there's those people that were like, oh, I'm gonna put it on my card because I don't want the 8%, or
Oh,
I'm gonna
right.
pay it right now because I
Right.
don't want
so they
the
pay
8%.
more interest on the card.
Yeah, I know.
So as long as you're above more
I
of the
was in that
card.
position. I was
See,
like,
that's why it's good, so a lot of these new homes and stuff, it's built right in,
Yeah,
the taxes are taken
but I was
out
just thinking about,
as the payments are being
and
made.
is there a number of how much is collected in a year on that end alone?
On the interest, you mean?
On the penalty, the 8% collector's fee? The interest is,
When you,
do you have a figure for like last year?
roughly about, she takes in between all of the years, I can't just tell you from last year, she roughly makes between $10,000 and $12,000 a year just on the delinquent.
on the
tax
delinquent
collectors.
fees.
That's three households.
Yeah, it's gotta be more than that. It would seem like, I mean, I paid,
No, I'm right there with you.
that doesn't seem right.
Well, it depends on the year.
Well, there's
And it's
It
not,
doesn't-
not everybody. The problem with what you're thinking of it as all year. For 2017, we only have November, December that it's counting for. You know, so when we put stuff in the book for certain years,
Oh,
it's November, December, and then we hit
So-
January. That money will roll over,
Yeah.
but not get collected until.
so a 12-month period, I guess, would be my question, in a
it's probably
12-month
closer
period.
to 16.
Still lower than I thought. Huh, okay.
and isn't your total penalty isn't just
Right. It's
But the
interest.
town, I
It's
mean, the town gets
1%.
1%.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
that's.
we get
Yeah.
1%, then 1%, then 1%, depending on how many months it rolls.
Oh,
It's
So-
not just
right.
flat 1% and then it's done. It's 1% this month, another 1% next month, and until it's paid, you're 1% on top of that.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
But that's where,
And she
That's
didn't
what-
even have to send a letter to me, because,
you know, this is
Oh.
good that you're talking about the sign up here at People's Trust, because reminder, taxes are due.
yeah. That, I
Boom,
mean,
boom, boom.
really.
And it was.
I've seen it in a lot of other towns, and it's
And
like,
that would be, it was, oh yeah, but I don't
No,
see it
'cause
over
Lisa
there.
put it on. She had
I
called
know,
and she
but that's the
puts
point.
it
It's not on Main Street. Who sees it? Nobody sees it.
No,
Because it's
right,
not on
right.
Main Street.
Totally off topic, but has the school has Fran taken the rest of her stuff out of that?
It's not Fran stuff in there, and it's just school stuff now.
Oh, so it's just school.
Just school.
So
So
school needs to
school
come
has
and get
stuff
it.
in there?
They
Okay.
need to come and get
Didn't
it.
know that.
I'll call central office. Say somebody needs to come
It's
get it.
not
It's Enosburgh.
high school.
Oh, it's the school.
Yeah.
I'll call Eric and say,
Yeah, yeah.
have sent somebody over to get it.
Yeah.
Because Andy should,
Because all of,
that's what she's like waiting for, is to get down.
all of the records are going
Yeah.
out of there. It's just
And after her soft
Physical
opening,
stuff.
she'll
Physical
be,
stuff, okay.
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a nice chair for me.
Huh?
A nice office chair for me. I'll check it out.
There
Yeah,
you
you
go.
Alrighty, thank you.
Check it out.
Alright,
Bye.
Bye. I'll get with you, Billy Joe. I'll look up. I keep saying I'm gonna, but I really
So,
won't
Billy Joe,
find that figure.
if I bring you a copy of our last financial statement, maybe forward that to the board. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank
you.
you.
And I don't envy you your job right now for budget time.
Oh, here's something you can throw around too. We're looking for a health officer.
yeah.
Uh-huh, okay.
So we got
I'll keep-
anybody that might have a,
And,
because right now I'm just,
and the fringe benefits are what?
you did a good job. Well, the board will really
A
thank you.
healthy officer,
Yeah,
or a health
yeah.
officer, okay.
'Cause, Larry Fisk was the health officer, so he resigned that position when he left.
So, I'm wondering if it would be worth having somebody from the Courier interview someone here about what is a health officer and what goes on.
Yeah.
Pierre, you don't have any more room in your schedule?
Yeah.
Poor Pierre, he just smiles.
Well, the unfortunate part is, I mean,
What?
if it could be like something that could be a shared responsibility,
Yeah.
you know, we all could take a turn, but it falls upon Larry's shoulders as the chair, and they don't give you the wiggle room to share the duties.
Yeah, they give you a nice letter to say it's a really important, prestigious position.
Uh-huh. All right,
But-
well, I'll market it
But
that way.
it's something that I would like to see the state push into having a position, but countywide, so they can do several towns.
Uh-huh.
A person that's qualified to do all this stuff, because it takes a special person. You gotta know, you gotta have the health of a person, but you also gotta know what you're looking at in a home
Right.
for mold or electricity that may be stray or. Yeah, it's not a glorified job. But Larry did it well, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And they do it for that big salary, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
We could offer it
$1,000.
to CE, just say your predecessor. Would you like-
Well, the thing is that now that you bring it up, I mean, have we explored the other communities?
I think Larry talked to somebody in the other community in Berkshire, didn't you say?
I haven't. Todd Kinney does Berkshire.
And then you talked about,
I want to know if we can allow somebody from the outside to do it.
I mean,
Which I haven't gotten back, they have not responded.
they haven't responded yet.
Is that League of Cities and Towns?
No, the Department of Health,
Okay.
Why would they?
because they're in charge of it.
Enosburgh can't be the only town that's
No, I'm sure we're not.
struggling. I mean, maybe the
Yeah.
league is, it takes something, you know,
That's
take
why-
it up with the league and just say,
That's
hey.
why it's one of these things that the letter said it was created 100 years ago.
Yeah,
It was a very needed thing in the community because there's a lot of diseases going around. But everybody stayed in the community too.
Right.
They didn't work out of there, so
Right.
there's a good pool to pull from. And now everybody's got jobs elsewhere. And
well, I mean, it's like being a lister, you know. It was a lot more simple at one time, but it's not anymore.
Right.
You know,
right.
and there are very few people on the local level that really have a good handle on it. It takes a long time. So, all right.
okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Well, I'll see what I can do for you.
Hi.
Okay. What else?
I should report out too. I went to a prep meeting at some point.
Oh, I had a couple things.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't tell, but it looks maybe from the road, from when I was just driving by, things were tipped over, the goals. Doesn't look like anybody's taking care of the nets yet. Do you know,
Mm-hmm.
they have?
No, I mean, okay.
You mean from the windstorm there, they were all tipped over?
Well, some of them were tipped over, but that's not unusual.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they tip them over. But just last year, they took the nets off, and they put them in
Oh.
totes, and they put them in the store.
Got you, okay.
Shauna, and I think maybe Randy and a few other volunteers, and I just thought maybe
Could be this weather caught everybody off guard too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, snow removal person for this building and for the library. Mary and I could keep up with doing hours, because when Wayne was doing, but, and the library is, Kevin makes a pass through with the village,
Oh, okay.
but they don't always go out. But I emailed Phil Robtoy and he said he doesn't have any time for it because he's booked. And he doesn't know anybody else because they're all booked, so I didn't know if you guys knew anybody. Because the library's gonna be asking. I mean, like I said, we can handle this here.
Somebody shovel or an actual like plow?
Shovel.
Shovel.
I mean, in big snow,
It could be.
could be, because Wayne did bring down his plow and he won't work for us.
No, I get that.
But
He won't?
But I don't know anybody, so, no. Any thoughts would
Much
be
easier
great.
for that.
All right, we'll work on it. Well, time
Heals
all
wounds.
things. Yes.
What about? Yeah.
Some young kids.
That's what I was thinking. Who do I don't know anybody.
Well, Brenda has a teenage son, maybe. He
Oh
wants to
yeah,
make
and he's
some
I just
notes.
went to the
He's
library.
always over
He's
there,
always
right?
over there.
Yeah.
Let's ask him.
Yeah. Be a good job for a young
Exactly.
man like that.
He's
And how do you pay
taekwondo.
them per
Per
job?
Per shovel, like.
20 bucks?
Per day per shovel, I guess.
$20 per shovel.
It's
How long does it take?
roughly.
2 hours, an hour?
Not an hour, unless it was like heavy.
If big snow, it'd probably be an hour, but
or
otherwise.
pay
it
him
would
by
just
the
be
hour.
like-
I
No,
don't,
don't pay
I
per
don't wanna do
hour.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should be the job, yeah.
No, maybe we'll keep it in mind. We'll try to find someone.
Why you don't think that's a good idea? I think it's a
Well,
great
I'm just
idea.
wondering, how many times do you shovel a month? How many times does it need to be shoveled?
I guess it
'Cause you're gonna
depends
have
on
to-
when you
'cause
get
you're
the
gonna have
snow.
to- you're gonna have
Well, I'm just saying, somebody might take advantage of you. Next thing you know, you're paying $400 a month to have
Right.
this little thing
I think it's per
per month, maybe.
How much did we use
per
to?
snowfall.
Yeah.
Just say if it snows,
Because you're gonna have it sanded. You're gonna have to sand it every once in a while.
yeah, but we don't have, well, like Kevin
Bucket.
does.
Kevin comes through with
and
the
he
snowboard.
sprinkles a little something.
Yep.
How
So-
much did
so-
we used to charge?
Wayne would
Or not,
charge
yeah,
$20
Okay.
per time.
Yeah.
Per time.
And sometimes he used
Exactly. Exactly.
Just look at the door.
Yep. So, I think, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Because don't they live in the village?
Yeah.
East Street.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Brenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, she lives right across the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Walk
throw a
over and
stone
shovel the
over her
walk,
house
kid.
right over there.
$20.
$20. See, I mean, he might not want to, but I think it's the best scenario. Right there. He's there all the time. He's young.
They could run over before school.
Or maybe you can ask her if he doesn't want to do it. Maybe she's got somebody in
Yeah,
mind that
exactly.
knows that
Yep.
they respect the library and.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest thing is, even if you do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, they don't open till 10. So
No, understood, but it would get the majority out of the way, so like you could
Yeah.
just use a broom or do a little pass yourself with a shovel. You know, but if it's heavy snow, you do need somebody to get the majority of it out of the
Yeah.
I know. I've shoveled that.
You do.
Oh, so
There we
Pierre's
go.
our backup. Exactly. That's what I was
We'll
thinking.
help, I mean, we're always here to help
Yeah.
too, so.
Alright.
So, the last
Oh
one
yeah.
is the inspection I did on the trailer.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Not bad. I mean, they were pretty receptive. But there's definitely conditions in there that need to be addressed right off. So, thinking we should put something together in a letter. I guess they're already trying to get it out of there,
Okay.
but I should at least put a format because this form says, you know, it'll say, you know, okay, this is wrong. Give this much time to fix that. What's the appropriate time?
Right.
30 days? I don't know.
All right.
It's quite a laundry list of stuff that needed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things where, you know, it shouldn't be inhabited right now, and I told them not to drink the water.
Oh, really?
I don't have my phone with it, but maybe you
I
ever
printed the pictures, Lynn. Under, there's a paper clip to that
Oh.
packet.
Yeah. There you go, double filled. That's just
Oh.
picture of the windows for fire escape.
Okay. What's that?
Oh, that's a boarded up,
Window?
yeah.
Okay. Nice
There's
view.
one of the escapes. Yeah, that's, oh, that stuff's not too bad. That's what you got for fire alarms. And she doesn't know how you can put one of those in a bedroom, and I'm like, they're screwed to the
The
ceiling. And she's known this, and it's like, huh, did you know that? So, it's definitely, they're not trying to help themselves there,
Okay.
but we'll come to the well somewhere is on there.
Furnace. Oh, open sockets.
They don't work either.
They don't?
And all the breakers are on. So I'm like,
there's current.
I said, you got electric problems here, or electricity needs to figure this out. That's it. I'm out of here.
What's the blue glow?
Is that mold?
Oh, that's
Countertop.
a
Reflection.
what is am I trying to think?
It's a camera.
Extension. No, it's extension plugins.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's right behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got it plugged in with a bunch of
Extension.
multiple.
What do they call them? Surge protectors.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
So that's wired. There's supposed to be lights and stuff on the ceiling, and it doesn't work.
And it's just hanging?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just showed it. All the breakers are on. So there's a lot of this on the ceiling.
Well, yeah.
There's a steel roof on here now, so that probably happened a long time ago.
Before.
So there's mold on top of a.
Oh.
I assume it's mold. She's the one that showed me all that.
Ooh. Where's this? Is that in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
That's in the closet. She opened it up. You didn't see this,
That is mold.
but you didn't come across the spring.
I didn't. There was a bunch of blank papers in the middle.
Oh, I was having trouble getting those things to print.
Well, these are all like.
Well, I found out from the person who owns the land
Yeah.
that it's a galvanized culvert.
As a tile.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. I didn't see that there was a visit or anything.
Galvanized tile. Okay. Cool.
So
your kid's here?
Yeah.
yes,
3.
yeah, and one was homesick. So that picture's not in here, but and I don't have my phone. She's got a surprise. It is actually it's a spring or a water well there in a building. So I was expecting just to see something with something thrown on top outside, but it's a building and it had all the stuff, the water pump and everything in there. Steel culvert going in the ground, but everything's sitting on top. With, you couldn't just move it to look down in the tile, but there's a little bit of a crack in it there. I was trying to look in there to see what the water looked like and stuff, and so then I put my camera in and took a picture of it, pointed down, and then it came back. It's like scummy on the top, and almost looked like cigarette butts or something down in there. But there's a lot of stuff floating on the top, and I'm
Okay.
like, I'm showing her this picture. I said, "This is what you guys got going in there, your sinks and your house." I said, "I advise not to drink this."
Right.
I said, "You need to have it sampled." And I do have a sample kit. I went over one time and they weren't there, but I can probably drop them off with a letter that we draft up here. Just saying the conditions that I've seen, basically, you know, the water by appearance looks contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
Electrical outlets aren't working, which is a possible fire hazard. No smoke alarms. And then the doors aren't really tight closed. There's gaps in the doors and stuff. They did have heat in there. The floors are a little shaky. Did have a Christmas tree up too.
Already?
Yeah.
And Olaf.
Yeah, Ola. Yeah. So that's basically, you know, the water.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, how bad it is because there's poles from the bottom, as that's from the top.
But still.
But just seeing the appearance on the top is septic system. Surprisingly, it seemed to be okay. Not I couldn't find any raw sewage around there, and we called his father, Ernest Clark Sr., who owns the place. There used to be 2 buildings there, and I kind of remember that way back in time. So there was 2 tanks, and they were a line out to probably, I don't know, a couple hundred feet. There's like a little cornfield pasture, and I guess the leach field's up there. So I walked around some, and I couldn't find any. So evidently it must be working. So I don't know. I don't know when that came about, when they put all that septic in. Somebody must have been in charge. There must have been some septic laws then.
Think so?
To have something like that in.
Right.
But we've had mold in there. Yeah, that's the other thing. Should say on the paper. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah, there's something in that water.
Right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The picture before was, I guess, where it is. It's like so difficult. I'm not sure. I mean, when he showed it to me, I was like, yeah, I thought it was like fog spots. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like tar.
She did say something about the water and glasses did look a little off. I was like, I advise you to get drinking water for the kids to drink until you can get some water tested here. And there was a lady from Child
DCF.
DCF there, Jordan. She was helping her try to get some paperwork filled out to get them relocated somewhere, and probably sending a letter to them. They can forward that to whoever to
Right.
expedite.
Right.
And of course, the school called me
Did they?
the next day.
Oh.
Wanted to know.
So they knew that you were going to this.
Child service. Told them. But the kids do go to school there.
But not the elementary school.
No.
Oh.
They go
Well-
middle school, like where Kelly's.
Rachel.
Yeah, she's middle school.
Okay, so she's the one I called. Rachel Reynolds.
Yeah.
Second
Middle
time.
school. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So-
Okay.
So how do you want one of us, your colleagues, so do you want it before the next meeting, like right away?
Yeah, I probably should do it this week so I can bring that water sample box to them. And I don't know. I guess what I was thinking is, should we give like a 30-day to fix this stuff, or
And who do you want it sent to? The tenants or the landlord?
probably both?
So
Yeah,
mention
no.
the findings, and then say you have 30 days, and then give a specific date, and then send it to both.
Yeah.
Sign it.
Do we have
you
to
as the
say
health
what will
officer.
happen if it's not taken care of in 30 days? Then you'll be asked to. What?
I don't know.
I know. I wonder if can you give it 30 days if you can't give a what will
I'd be-
happen if.
I'd- There's gonna be something in the rentals.
Yeah, the rental guy should be at
Well, it's father.
$750 a month rent.
What?
There are rules and regulations, because people who rent apartment buildings and all that stuff, and
They're supposed to meet up to code. That's why
it's
when
gonna
they-
be up to
they're
code.
getting
That's
this,
just,
they're getting this rent payment, and some of it's supposed to go back into fixing the building.
no, that's, you get them 30 days, and then from there, we get hold of the state. There's
Right.
renter stuff. There's
You have 30 days to fix it, and if
There's
not,
landlord.
then-
contracts and the whole works, and it just either come into compliance or else.
So yeah, I would mention, the water.
the electrical.
The appearance of the water seems unsafe to drink. The electrical,
Is hazardous.
very hazardous. No smoke alarms. And mold. Appearance of mold
Significant mold of
on ceiling,
walls.
walls in a pantry room, and then a sink door top. Something else too. One of their kitchen sinks, the drains work, but one of the is a dual sink.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, the piping's all apart underneath. That's an easy plumbing fix.
Were both of the exits easily accessed, like they didn't board up a back door or anything, did
The second exit, they had a bunk bed leaning up against it. Parts of it was
Mm-hmm.
in pieces. And that needs to be cleared. We talked to Vaughn there, and he didn't think we really needed to write anything official from the lawyers. It's just going to cost us more money. than
Yeah, exactly.
sense.
Just say it.
You know.
Do we send it certified?
I'd send them both ways,
Oh, yeah.
because sometimes they don't sign for it, but
At least they get
at
it.
least they would see it, like they
Yeah.
got the right one.
Right.
I can probably drop her off that water sample and just tell her that the letter will be coming.
Do they have to pay for the water sample? Isn't it kind of pricey? Yeah, I remember.
But I think they would maybe get a voucher or some help because of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
And,
see about that.
and there's different ways. I mean,
I remember thinking I get my.
maybe they should just chlorinate it right now and shock it, but
That's what I do.
and then take a sample. But
That's what I do.
I would not be drinking that. Yeah. And then they're renting it, but they wanted to buy the place. But it should be, even though it's her boyfriend's father,
Mm-hmm.
it should be his responsibility to fix these problems.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then the other home I haven't gone to, down here in the corner.
Okay.
They're going to tomorrow to lawyers there, the other household
Oh,
down there.
right.
So that's 3 hours of time right there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
There's 2 hours there, then I came here for a little while. Yeah, I bet you it was a good 3 hours. And it's not done.
Did we? I can't remember. Were we gonna call other towns and see about their
Yeah, I
help?
haven't done that.
No.
But
Okay.
like he did talk to somebody in Berkshire, and they
Yeah.
don't mind the job.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
Well,
thing is
we
that-
have to find out if it's
well-
okay to appoint somebody.
Oh,
from
I
another
see, I got you,
community.
okay.
I'm not questioning his ability. I'm just questioning,
what he's gonna charge.
no, well, number one, that, but then the thing is that,
What do we
is,
charge?
It's $1,000 a year stipend.
is he qualified to do it? I mean, you know how, like, I was a fence watcher. It was just a
Yeah.
name
Well, that's what this is.
name on a title. I know, but the thing is that if we're gonna find someone from another community, even though that person may have been appointed, have they actually had to?
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, no, I'm just making sure that at least we're hiring someone that's gonna say, well, yeah, I mean, I'm familiar, I'm aware, these are the avenues I've had to go. Let's have a little bit of a qualification. But to reach out.
I don't know about,
The state doesn't check.
But we should check with, Berkshire, Richford. I mean, if we're, like Larry had said, that's, maybe it's time we round up the other communities.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be, it'd be nice if you could find somebody within your own community, but, and then when you start doing some advertising for this job, I know of somebody that I would not want to answer it that used to work for the ambulance.
Yep. That's what I thought you were talking about. That's exactly
probably
who I was
would
thinking.
Respond.
Yeah.
And
What was I gonna say? So are we done with that or
this,
yeah?
yeah, it's gonna be on a, you just have to write something up and send it to her. I mean, she was very receptive and understanding.
Yeah.
And I think information like this actually helps people like that expedite to different.
to actually get some different situations. So I went to the rec meeting and talking about replacing the rec director. And it came up about office space. And apparently did he keep his desk clean? That seemed to be the bone of contention.
We just had a pile on the corner.
On the corner, really? Because it almost seems, is it possible once Angie moves down here that could be a space upstairs?
If we had another computer.
So what if they had their own computer? I was just playing this around, like if they had their own laptop or whatever.
Yeah,
Or like
if
the
they did,
iPad.
There's not a reason not to have a space up there.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I just don't think it was that messy.
No,
I mean, I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back there and work all the time with his stuff on the desk.
on the desk. Yeah.
No,
I know.
Here this many hours.
But it is a tight space. If I had to work in there with somebody, that would
Yeah,
be.
but there's nobody in there working at
Right.
the same time.
Well, so don't you have to coordinate hours so that they're not in there at the same
He
time?
only works Tuesdays, she only works Fridays.
Okay. So we had also talked about maybe having the rec director in here 2 days. 2 5-hour days in the office, so that the majority of the work was done out of an office. Whoever we find, they haven't
Yeah.
today.
I think that's,
Yeah.
we were the first director, we were too lax on that. And
Yeah.
probably would have turned out okay if came in here to do the work
Right.
twice a week.
So, yeah. So I didn't know if that was an option when she moves down.
But there's wiring up there already
Yeah, that's what I
for
was.
our systems.
right.
So yeah, if they had
It would
their
be own computer, perfect.
absolutely.
Because they were like, "What about a computer?" I said, "What you have to realize is it's not just a computer. Like, if we get you a computer, it's with a contract, with a this, with a that, and it becomes something that's just not feasible." I said, "I use my own personal computer for every DRB meeting. Nobody
Yeah.
has provided anything for me as far as that. So, if you might have to
And maybe that's
provide your
something
own."
to think about. Buy a laptop, you can use it for the DRB,
Oh,
but it
right.
can always be here. They could use it upstairs, you can use it for the DRB.
Right.
If I had to go to a meeting and take minutes at the fire station, I could, you know.
That's
I
not
mean,
a bad
that
idea.
might be something to have where it's not just designated
Needed for one
that.
person. That's not a bad idea.
So then you wouldn't always have to be using your personal thing.
Yeah, 'cause
And
mine's,
you
like,
could
on-
use it to take minutes at. You
right.
could use it.
Because mine's on the verge of death. So
I can send Dave
yeah,
a
maybe.
request of, like, what's a proposal?
What's a proposal? That might not be a bad idea. But just to see. If it's ridiculous, then forget it. But and what else happened? Oh,
So names, no? No, for rec directors?
nope, they haven't even posted it yet. I think they were gonna get in touch with you about running it again. I had at first thought, I don't know if I should say this on camera or not.
Well, you can, take him over.
Oh, yeah, we can make a motion to adjourn and just talk.
Okay,
I move to adjourn
I'll second it.
because there's no action taken.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. Any more discussion? If have none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those